It was May 11th, 1998, when the ground shook in Pokhara and awakened the world to see emergence of a new India. It was beginning of a new era, which is marked with Red Letter Day in the history of India. Operation Shakti took the world by surprise and gave Shakti to India, that is now a powerful yet a peace-loving nation. Following the slogan coined by Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee, the then Prime Minister,
लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी ने कहा था, जय जवान जय किसान। मैंने अब इसमें एक नया आयाम जोड़ा है, जय विज्ञान। 21वीं सदी में हमें अपनी सेना।
India has progressed with number of scientific advances taking place time to time. Here, a significant credit goes to Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who had dreamt and made India a self-reliant, strong nation.
We are delighted to inform all of you that the mission 100% successful.
Born to meagerly earning Jainul Abidin and Ashiyamma as the youngest of the 5 children, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, coming from a humble beginning with early schooling in Rameshwaram, reached to the highest seat of the country, the President of India. Respecting all the religions since his childhood, he used to go to mosque, temples and the church before going to school. Later graduating in physics at the St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli, he further graduated in aerospace engineering from Madras Institute of Technology. In the first phase of his career, Dr. Kalam joined ADE at Bangalore as a senior scientific assistant in 1958 and designed the first hovercraft before joining ISRO. In his 2 decades association with ISRO till 1982, Dr. Kalam turned into a successful space scientist and developed satellite launch vehicles for SLV-3 rockets to put Rohini satellite into orbit in July 1980. The second phase of his career started with joining the Defence Research and Development Organization, DRDO, in 1982. Here, his vision resulted in the Integrated Guided Missile Development Program, IGMDP, that has ensured India achieving enviable position in missile technologies of propulsion, guidance, controls and warheads, despite the sanctions imposed by the control regimes. Under his leadership, India has been able to develop strategic missiles like Agni and Prithvi and tactical missiles like Nag, Akash and Trishul.
India is not poor. People thinking is poor. Okay? Only our thinking is poor. If you think big, we can also equally become.
This has paved the way for India to enter the elite club of nations, to have the ability to design, develop and deploy long-range missiles, indigenous missile defense system and underwater launch capacity. He was the scientific advisor to Defense Minister and the Secretary, Department of Defense Research and Development from July 1992 to December 1999. During this period, he played a crucial role in the Pokhran-2 nuclear tests in collaboration with Department of Atomic Energy. He gave thrust to self-reliance in defense systems by progressing multiple development tasks and mission projects such as light combat aircraft and the electronic warfare programs. During this phase, he, as chairman of the Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, TIFAC, also got involved with the creation of Technology Vision 2020 and the India Millennium Missions IMM 2020, which is an integrated version of Technology Vision and India's security concerns. Dr. Kalam served as the principal scientific advisor to the Government of India in the rank of Cabinet Minister from November 1999 to November 2001 and was responsible for evolving policies, strategies and missions for many development applications. His 4th phase started with joining Anna University at Chennai as Professor of Technology and Societal Transformation. This 4th phase took a sudden turn when he became the President of India on 25th July 2002.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution.
Honed with his experiences at ISRO and DRDO, Dr. Kalam also brought a spirit of dedicated service and inspirational zeal to this highest office, which earned him the title of the People's President. An enthusiast of art and culture, he used to spare some time playing Veena to meet with his love for music. After demitting the office in 2007, Dr. Kalam continued his passion for education and societal transformation, addressing various cross-sections of society from school children to policy makers. In his literary pursuit, he has written many books: Wings of Fire, India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium, My Journey, Ignited Minds, Unleashing the Power Within India are the few books which have become household names in India and among the Indian nationals abroad. These books have been translated in many Indian languages. Recognition and respect for his many achievements came through a number of awards that include the Padma Bhushan Award in 1981, the Padma Vibhushan in 1990, and the highest civilian award of India, the Bharat Ratna, in 1997. He is also the recipient of several other awards, including the Indira Gandhi Award for National Integration 1997. He is also conferred degree of Doctor of Science D. Honoris Causa by a number of universities. The man who had a very humble beginning and started his career from shores of Rameshwaram, who believed in both Quran and Gita, who daily offered namaz and played Veena, continues to live in the heart and minds of every Indian.
डॉक्टर APJ अब्दुल कलाम की 84वीं जन्म जयंती है। इस अवसर पर यहाँ DRDO भवन में उनकी प्रतिमा का अनावरण माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी द्वारा किया जाएगा। डॉक्टर कलाम की जीवन यात्रा को दर्शाती एक प्रदर्शनी का उद्घाटन भी प्रधानमंत्री जी द्वारा किया जाएगा। उन्होंने मुख्य रूप से एक वैज्ञानिक और विज्ञान के व्यवस्थापक के रूप में 4 दशकों तक रक्षा अनुसंधान एवं विकास संगठन DRDO और भारतीय अंतरिक्ष अनुसंधान संगठन यानी ISRO संभाला और भारत के नागरिक अंतरिक्ष कार्यक्रम और सैन्य मिसाइल के विकास के प्रयासों को भी विकसित किया। उन्हें बैलिस्टिक मिसाइल और प्रक्षेपण यान प्रौद्योगिकी के विकास के कार्यों के लिए भारत में मिसाइल मैन के रूप में जाना जाने लगा। Dr. Kalam has received the deep love and admiration of the people of India of all ages, especially the youth and children. He was an architect of the Indian defense and scientific establishment. For his contributions in the development of satellite launches, missiles, and nuclear technology, and other related works, he was conferred with the nation's greatest awards, Padma Bhushan, Padma Vibhushan, and Bharat Ratna. He became the 11th President of India in 2002 and the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. He has received honorary doctorates from 40 universities across the world. And because of his dedicated interaction with students in schools and colleges for their development, UNO declared his birthday, the 15th of October, as World Students' Day on his 79th birthday. Receiving the Bharat Ratna, the highest civilian award in our country, from the then President, K.R. Narayanan, The Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, has now arrived here. We see his carcade as in a moment or so he will alight his limousine. Shri Narendra Modi and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam shared great mutual respect and affection. Being received here by the Defence Minister Shri Manohar Parrikar, Minister of Urban Development Shri Venkaiah Naidu, the various officials from the Ministry of Defence, family members, as he is being escorted towards the bust of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam to mark his 84th birth anniversary. And it is only appropriate that this statue be established here at DRDO Bhavan, where he spent the better part of his scientific career working towards missile technology and India's defense systems. A golden statue to mark the golden years that he spent in DRDO and his contribution that will be written in letters of gold in the history of India's development. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was always a dreamer. He would often say, "You were born with wings. Don't crawl. Learn to use them and fly and fly." Life, he said, was a difficult game. You can win it only by retaining your birthright to be a person. And this young man from the small town of Dhanushkodi in Rameshwaram did dream and did fly and fly till he soared to the skies and went beyond. He would often say, "सपना वो नहीं जो आप नींद में देखें, सपना वो है जो नींद ही ना आने दे." He was a great dreamer, and he taught the youth of India to dream big and to achieve those dreams. He would often say that in his childhood years, it was the flight of birds that fascinated him. It was years later that he realized that he wanted to fly aircrafts. After finishing school, he took up physics at St. Joseph's College in Trichy, but discovered aeronautical engineering and went to Madras Institute of Technology. And that is where his dreams took flight, as he became one of the greatest aeronautical engineers of our country. He was a simple man of simple tastes. In his personal life, a great player of the veena, which was one of his very few possessions. He loved music, especially Carnatic music, and would write poems and sing bhajans. His father was a humble boat owner, Jainul Abidin, a devout Muslim and a close friend of the Rameshwaram temple priest. And we see the Prime Minister of India walking towards the exhibition entitled A Celebration of Dr. Kalam's Life, which he will now inaugurate. The exhibition delineates his entire life from the early years when he always dreamt of flying as birds did over the ocean in his beloved Rameshwaram. His student life, he went to Schwartz School, and then the college days, St. Joseph's College from 1952 to 54, Madras Institute of Technology from 1954 to 57. His career as an aeronautical engineer began at St. Mary Magdalene Church in Tumba, which nursed the Indian space program in its infancy. It was a small shack in the church ground that was used, and those were the days when there weren't enough resources, and so the bicycle was used to transport some of the technological items. And since Dr. Kalam himself didn't know how to ride a bike, he would often take a lift. He would always say, great dreams of great dreamers are always transcended during his interaction with children. And this part of the exhibition depicts his DRDO days. The development of the Prithvi, Akash, Agni, and other such missiles. He joined DRDO in 1982, and this is where he was given the sobriquet of the Missile Man of India. Some of the strategic missiles that he was instrumental in developing. We see the models of Prithvi 2, the Shaurya, and some of the other missiles, and also the photographs of his colleagues who worked with him during this time and admired him deeply. Sudhir Mishra, the Chief of BrahMos, explaining the exhibit to the Honorable Prime Minister. We usually get the opportunity to see some of these missiles during the Republic Day parade on Rajpath. A close examination by the Honorable Prime Minister of the models of the various missiles and defense systems that were developed under the leadership of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. While working as a project manager at DRDO, Dr. Kalam played a crucial role in the development of India's first indigenous satellite launch vehicle, or the SLV-3. Dr. Kalam was much more than a political figure. He was a scientist, writer, inspirational speaker, and a motivational figure. He inspired all that he met and interacted with, whether they were scientists, students, or children. We see some of the products here of the missile technology. This is the famous Arjun tank. And there the combat vehicle and engineering communication vehicle, radars and electronic warfare systems. The various technologies that have been developed and produced by DRDO in terms of armaments, naval systems and sensors, and also life sciences, which is a very important part of combat or combat situations. These are the dehydrated food packages that we see here, which were developed specially for our brave warriors, our soldiers, when they are in places like Siachen, where food is not easily available. These are small enough packages for soldiers to carry in their backpacks and survive in inclement conditions. A part of the development also is to be conscious of the environment and to develop technologies which are environment friendly. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam himself had a great respect for nature, for he had in his childhood seen nature at its best and at its worst during typhoons and storms that would often uproot entire villages. Methodologies for water conservation and creating energy through water. These are the critical technologies that were indigenously developed by India. Communication systems, satellite systems that were developed by DRDO. One very interesting aspect of research and development by DRDO are the spin-offs which are used in medicine. One of the little known facts about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is that he has a medical invention to him name, a coronary stent built with missile composites that dramatically brought down the cost of heart stents from 55,000 to 10,000 in the mid-90s. And And this is space technology being used for polio patients. Dr. Kalam would say that for him it was a moment of bliss when he saw the tears of joy in the eyes of parents of polio-stricken children who could walk freely with the help of these lighter devices. As the Supreme Commander of the Indian Armed Forces, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam took an even greater interest in the development and welfare of the armed forces and saw the fruition of many of his development projects. His presidential years have also been exhibited here. He received much love as the President of India and brought with him a certain simplicity to the office of the President. And this part of the exhibition is entitled Inspiring Lives, for that is exactly what Dr. Kalam did through his various interactions with people from across the spectrum. He wrote several books. A few of them are Wings of Fire, an autobiography which was written in 1999, Ignited Minds, Unleashing the Power Within in 2002, Target 3 Billion in 2011, and My Journey, Transforming Dreams into Actions in 2013. Dr. Kalam advocated plans to develop India into a developed nation by 2020 in his book, India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium, which was written in 1998. Dr. Kalam is known for his motivational speeches and interaction with the student community and in India and indeed across the world. The Prime Minister inaugurating the exhibition and this book on the life of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, especially his scientific achievements. He would often say, thinking is progress, non-thinking is stagnation of the individual, organization, and the country. Thinking leads to action. Knowledge without action is useless and irrelevant. That is why he would inspire students to read, to learn, and to keep learning and reading continuously throughout one's life. He would often say, one best book is equal to 100 good friends, but one good friend is equal to a library. He would often say, don't read success stories, you will only get a message. Read failure stories, you will get some ideas to get success. The Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, has arrived on the dais, and we hand you over to the dais now.
Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Urban Development Minister Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, Honorable Raksha Mantri Shri Manohar Parrikar ji, Honorable Minister of Communications and Information Technology Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences Dr. Harshvardhan ji, Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences Shri Y.S. Chaudhary ji, Principal Scientific Advisor to Government of India Dr. R. Chidambaram, Air Chief Marshal Arup Raha, Chairman Chiefs of Staff Committee and Chief of Air Staff, Admiral R.K. Dhowan, Chief of the Navy Staff, General Darbir Singh, Chief of the Army Staff, Secretaries of Government of India, distinguished invitees, members of the media, viewers of Doordarshan watching it live, and listeners of All India Radio, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning and a very warm welcome to the birth anniversary celebrations of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Today we fondly remember the 11th President of India and one of DRDO's former chiefs who has won the heart of every Indian and is an inspirational figure to millions of people. He was a great visionary and acclaimed scientist and above all an extraordinary human being. His memory and motivation shall always remain alive in our hearts and be a guiding energy for the generations to come. May I request Honorable Raksha Mantri Shri Manohar Parrikar ji for the welcome address.
Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Minister for Urban Development, Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Honorable Minister of IT, Secretary Defence Research and Development, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to speak about Bharat Ratna Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam on his 84th birth anniversary celebration. An eminent engineer, scientist, and the 11th President of Republic of India, Dr. Kalam, who had inspired millions of people with his incredible achievements and personality, had his last breath on July 27, leaving the nation in deep sorrow. Today, indeed, I am glad to be part of this occasion organized to commemorate the 84th birth anniversary of Dr. Kalam by unveiling the statue of this great visionary at the DRDO Bhavan by Honorable Prime Minister. Widely regarded as the father of missiles, Dr. Kalam's research and educational leadership prompted the Indian government to initiate the integrated guided missile development program under his directorship. This led to the simultaneous and successful development of wide range of missiles and brought great laurels and prestige to the nation. The strong foundation laid by the visionary at that time has provided the necessary impetus and technological base towards achieving advanced technologies. His sustained guidance has been the driving force behind India's leap in the defense technology. Dr. Kalam, during his tenure as a scientific advisor to Raksha Mantri, played an organizational, pivotal and intensive technological role in conducting the Pokhran-2 nuclear test. Dr. Kalam, who served in ISRO, had a successful stint as the project director of India's first satellite launch vehicle. One of the most luminous stars in the history of presidents of India, Dr. Kalam was born on October 15, 1931, and his eventful journey began from Rameshwaram to Rashtrapati Bhavan in Delhi, and is a story full of success through sheer hard work, dedication and determination. Dr. Kalam was a man of vision who was always full of ideas aimed at development of the country. His perspectives on important topics have been articulated by him in his book India 2020, which highlights the action plans that will help to develop India into knowledge superpower by 2020. For Dr. Kalam, India's true and biggest asset is its youth, and he continuously strived to motivate them. He said the nation requires a role model in leadership who can inspire youngsters. The journey from a newspaper boy to scientist and the President of India has inspired every Indian to dream big and work hard with dedication for the dreams to come true. It is pertinent to recall that Dr. Kalam was a great writer and had ignited millions of young minds through his thought-provoking and influential writing. He always enjoyed the company of young students and children, and I probably think that it is Dr. Kalam's writing that really increased the interest of young students in science and technology to make it their career. In fact, the base science interest increased after Dr. Kalam's initiatives. All these unique qualities added to his vision and knowledge and fetched Dr. Kalam several honors and awards across the globe. The true tribute to the great leader is to fulfill his dream. I take this opportunity to pay respects to our beloved former President, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and I am sure the scientific community will derive the inspiration from his life and dedicated work towards his dream for self-reliant India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. May I request Honorable Union Minister for Urban Development, Shri M. Venkaiah Naidu ji, for his address.
भारत का लोकप्रिय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र भाई मोदी जी, केंद्र मंत्रिमंडल में मेरे साथी श्री मनोहर पर्रिकर जी और एक साथी श्री रविशंकर प्रसाद जी और डॉक्टर हर्षवर्धन जी, श्री वाई.एस. चौधरी जी, आज DRDO का चीफ और आज इस सभागृह में इस समारोह में आए हुए सभी बहनों और भाइयों, Today is a great day because it is the birthday of our great son of this great country. We all gathered here to recall the journey of a great soul who travelled all the way from far off Rameswaram to Rashtrapati Bhavan and created several milestones during his journey. It was Dr. Abul Pakir Jainuddin Abdul Kalam, the name that inspires every countryman. Dr. Kalam was among the great sons of our great country who spent their life time thinking of this great nation, its problems, future, and made multifarious contributions towards lifting our country to its potential. Born in a family of a moderate means, Dr. Kalam rose to digi heights. He perhaps took a leaf out of his own life and envisioned a similar journey for his motherland, India. He was always motivated by his own life and accomplishments in dreaming of a great India. He always thought, if I could do it in my life, why can't my country do so? A scientist turned a reluctant politician, Dr. Kalam made use of the instrument of science to strengthen the defense and security of our country as a missile man and emerged as people's president in true spirit. He inspired millions of youth by daring them to dream. He said to the students and youth, you have to dream before your dream come true. That was the message he has given to the younger generation of the country. Dr. Kalam's message, especially to youth, was to have the courage to think differently, courage to invent, and to travel the unexplored path, courage to discover the impossible and conquer the problems and succeed. If only we look at the title of some of the books written by Dr. Kalam, we can appreciate his mission. These books being Envisioned and Empowering Nation, a manifesto for change, turning points, forge your future candid, forthright, inspiring, ignited minds, wings of fire, etc. Every book has a message. It is difficult to see that such obsession and consistency about the future of the country and the countryman. Dr. Kalam also personified a fine blend of scientific inquiry and spiritualism and philosophy. He found time to write about spiritualism in a book, Transcendence, My Spiritual Experience with Pramukh Swamiji. आदि काल से, वेद काल से, पुराण काल से जो हमको मिला विरासत में, जो जिया हमारा पूर्वजों ने दिया, उसके बारे में हमेशा हम गर्व महसूस करना चाहिए, उसको ध्यान में रख के आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। ये हमेशा डॉक्टर कलाम भी विश्वास करते थे। Besides being a great scientist, Dr. Kalam had a thorough understanding of the cause of poverty, underdevelopment. He said, quote, "We will be remembered only if we give to our younger generation a prosperous and safe India, resulting out of economic prosperity occupied with civilization's heritage, underline." Friends, this is the vision and mission of our Honorable Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Modi. He is keen to accomplish this mission, accomplishing this mission of ensuing prosperous and safe future for our youth is the real tribute that we can pay to the great soul, Dr. Kalam. The Prime Minister, that's why rightly, has replaced the Planning Commission with the Niti Ayog. NITI, N-I-T-I, National Institute for Transformation of India. That is the mission which was envisaged by Dr. Kalam. That is the mission being pursued by our beloved Prime Minister, Sri Narendra Bhai Modi. Our civilization is founded on the principles of Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. We always believed in peace and brotherhood. It has accommodated in its fold different streams of thought. Dr. Kalam desired us to imbibe and be inspired by this civilization heritage in our thoughts and in our deeds. Dr. Kalam was a true yogi. He was detached from material life but passionate about the country, its people and their future. He was a great scientist, at the same time a great spiritualist. He was the missile man but always thought of the poor and their problems. He was the president but always reached out to the students and the youth, igniting their minds and giving wings to their dreams. Dr. Kalam took birth to accomplish a mission. He fulfilled most of it. Now it is for us to accomplish the unfinished part of his mission, that is the responsibility of the entire countryman. The grief and sorrow that burst out spontaneously when Dr. Kalam breathed his last, talking to students in Shillong in July this year, was a true statement of love and affection of the people he earned through his words, deeds, and all for a bright future of our country and its people. I have been there. I was asked by the Prime Minister, myself and my colleague Manohar Parrikar ji, who have been to Rameswaram for the last rites of Dr. Kalam. The scene which we have seen there, it's really amazing. People from every walk of life, from every corner of the country, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, religion, region, people all poured in on their own to Rameswaram to have a last glimpse of this great son. That speaks of the greatness and the personality of Dr. Abdul Kalam. To keep that in memory, in my own way, in a small way in my department, we have decided to convert Rameswaram town, which is a small town, into a Amrut town, Atal Mission for Regeneration and Transformation. A new mission has been created by our beloved leader, Narendra Modi ji. Rameswaram will be declared as a Amrut city. Though, as per the norms, it's not qualified, but because of the historical background and also the river there, and also as being the place of Dr. Kalam, my department has decided to convert it to an Amrut city. I only appeal to the younger generation. The great tribute which we can pay to this departed soul is following his teachings and preachings. Namaste, Dr. Kalam, Jindabad, Kalam ko salam. Namaste.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Honorable Prime Minister to release commemorative postal stamp on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Thank you, sir. May I now request Honorable Prime Minister for his address.
मंच पर विराजमान रक्षा मंत्री श्रीमान मनोहर पर्रिकर जी, श्री वेंकैया जी, श्री रविशंकर प्रसाद जी, डॉक्टर हर्षवर्धन जी और DRDO के सेक्रेटरी मिस्टर क्रिस्टोफर जी, उपस्थित सभी महानुभाव। आज 15 अक्टूबर श्रीमान अब्दुल कलाम जी की जन्म जयंती पर हम सब इकट्ठे हुए हैं। आज DRDO के परिसर में उनकी एक प्रतिमा का अनावरण करने का मुझे सौभाग्य मिला। ये बात सही है कि कलाम साहब का जीवन इतना व्यापक, विशाल और गहरा रहा है कि उनको याद करने का गर्व होता है, लेकिन साथ में एक कसक भी रहती है कि काश वो हमारे साथ होते तो ये जो कमी महसूस होती है, इसको कैसे भरना, ये हम सब के लिए एक चुनौती है। और मुझे विश्वास है कि अब्दुल कलाम जी के आशीर्वाद से उन्होंने हम देशवासियों को जो शिक्षा दीक्षा दी है, उससे हम अवश्य उसको पूरा करने का भरपूर प्रयास करेंगे और वही उनको सबसे बड़ी अंजलि होगी। वे राष्ट्रपति बने, मैं समझता हूं कि उससे पहले वे राष्ट्र रत्न थे। और ऐसा बहुत कम होता है कि एक व्यक्ति पहले राष्ट्र रत्न बने और बाद में राष्ट्रपति पद को स्वीकार करें। और वह उनके जीवन की ऊंचाइयों से जुड़ा हुआ था। भारत सरकार ने तय किया है कि जहां पर उनका जन्म हुआ और जहां पर उनकी अंत्येष्टि हुई, उस गांव में एक आने वाली पीढ़ियों को प्रेरणा दें, ऐसा स्मारक बनाया जाएगा। सरकार ने ऑलरेडी वो ज़मीन एक्वायर कर ली है। मैंने मंत्रियों की एक कमेटी भी बनाई है जो आने वाले दिनों में उसका आखिरी रूप तय करके ऐसा कैसा स्मारक हो जो आने वाली पीढ़ियों को प्रेरणा देता रहे और कलाम साहब का जीवन हमेशा हमेशा हम सब के लिए मार्गदर्शक बनता रहे। दो बातें कलाम साहब की जो स्वाभाविक नजर आती हैं, एक तो उनके बाल। दूर से भी किसी को पता चलता है कि अब्दुल कलाम जी जा रहे हैं और कुछ न बनाया हो, सिर्फ उनके बालों को किसी ने पेंट किया तो वो कह देगा कि हाँ, बाकी चेहरा कलाम साहब का होगा। लेकिन साथ साथ एक और भी बात थी, जैसे उनके बाल थे वैसा उनके भीतर एक बालक था। तो उनके बाल और उनके भीतर का बालक, ये दोनों मैं समझता हूँ हमेशा हमेशा जो उनके निकट गए हैं उनको याद रहेगा। इतनी सहजता, इतनी सरलता। आमतौर पर वैज्ञानिकों के विषय में एक सोच ऐसी रहती है कि वो बड़े गंभीर चेहरा, उदासीन, लैब में ही डूबे रहने वाले, साल में कितनी बार मुस्कुराए वो भी शायद हिसाब लगाना पड़े। लेकिन कलाम साहब हर पल एक बड़े जीवंत व्यक्तित्व नजर आता था। मुस्कुराते रहना, दौड़ते रहना। और दो प्रकार के लोग होते हैं। एक वो होते हैं जो अपॉर्चुनिटी खोजते हैं, एक वो होते हैं जो चैलेंज खोजते हैं। कलाम साहब चैलेंजेस की तलाश में रहते थे। कौन से नई चैलेंज है, उस चैलेंज को कैसे उठा लें और उस चैलेंज को पार कैसे करें, और यही उनके हर पल जीवन में रहता था। आखिर तक जब भी मेरा बहुत निकट संबंध रहा, क्योंकि जब मैं मुख्यमंत्री था तभी उनका गुजरात बार बार आना होता था, और अहमदाबाद से उनका विशेष लगाव था। उनके कैरियर की पहली शुरुआत उन्होंने अहमदाबाद में शुरू की थी और विक्रम साराभाई के साथ उन्होंने काम किया, तो उसके कारण उनका लगाव भी गुजरात के साथ बहुत था। तो मेरा भी उस समय संबंध उनसे बहुत आता था। कच्छ का भूकंप हो या आपत्ति की इतनी बड़ी घटना हो, वो आना, छोटी छोटी चीज़ों में गाइड करना, और उस समय भूकंप की परिस्थिति के पुनर्निर्माण के काम में विज्ञान और टेक्नोलॉजी का सहारा कैसे लिया जाए ताकि रिलीफ तेज गति से हो, रिहेबिलिटेशन तेज गति से हो, रिकंस्ट्रक्शन तेज गति से हो। ऐसी हर बारीक चीज में वे मार्गदर्शन करते थे, वो सहाय करते थे। जीवन भर उनकी एक विशेषता रही, और किसी ने उनको पूछा था कि आपको कैसे याद रखा जाए, और उन्होंने जवाब में कहा था कि मुझे एक शिक्षक के रूप में याद रखा जाए। ये शिक्षक का तो सम्मान है, लेकिन साथ साथ उनके जीवन का कन्विक्शन क्या था, कमिटमेंट क्या था, उसका भी परिचायक है। उनको लगता है कि भाई 5-50 व्यक्तियों का समूह जरूर कुछ कर दिखा सकता है, लेकिन भारत जैसे देश ने पीढ़ियों तक आगे बढ़ने के लिए, प्रभाव पैदा करने के लिए अगर तेज गति से चलना है तो आने वाली पीढ़ियों को तैयार करना होगा, और वो एक टीचर तैयार कर सकता है। और ये उनके सिर्फ शब्द नहीं थे, उनके पूरे जीवन में नजर आता है, पूरे जीवन में नजर आता है। राष्ट्रपति पद से मुक्ति के दूसरे दिन, ये छोटी बात नहीं है जी। इतने बड़े पद पर रहने के बाद कल क्या करूं, कल कैसा जाएगा, कल से क्या होगा। आप सबको मालूम है जो अफसर रिटायर्ड होता है तो क्या हो जाता है, यानी आज कहाँ खड़ा और दूसरे दिन वो अपने आप को कहाँ महसूस करता है। वो अपने आप को एक खालीपन महसूस करता है, एकदम से वो लगता है बस अब जीवन के अंत शुरू हो गया, ऐसा ही मान लेता है। दिमाग में रिटायरमेंट भर जाता है। कलाम साहब की विशेषता देखिए कि राष्ट्रपति पद, इतना बड़ी ऊंचाई, और निवृत्ति भी आदर्श और गौरव के साथ। दूसरे ही दिन जहाज पकड़ के चेन्नई जाना, चेन्नई में क्लासरूम में पढ़ाना शुरू करना, ये भीतर के कमिटमेंट के बिना संभव नहीं होता है। एक व्यक्ति ने अपने जीवन में इसको इनहेरेंट कर दिया होता है, तब होता है। और जीवन का अंत भी देखिए, कहां रामेश्वरम, कहां दिल्ली, कहां दुनिया में जय जयकार, और कहां नॉर्थ ईस्ट। किसी को कहा जाए कि नॉर्थ ईस्ट जाओ, अरे साहब किसी और को भेज दीजिए। ऐसा करो अगली बार मैं जाऊंगा, इस बार जरा कोई और हो। वहां पर इस उम्र में जाना और स्टूडेंट के साथ अपनी आखिरी पल बिताना, ये उनके भीतर का एक जो सातत्य था, एक कमिटमेंट था, उसको प्रतिबिंबित करता है। भारत शक्तिशाली हो, लेकिन सिर्फ शस्त्रों से शक्तिशाली हो, ये कलाम साहब की सोच नहीं थी। शस्त्रों का सामर्थ्य आवश्यक है और उसमें कोई कोताही नहीं बरतनी चाहिए, और उसमें उन्होंने जितना योगदान सकते दिया, लेकिन वो इस मान करके चलते थे कि देश सरहदों से नहीं, देश कोटि कोटि लोगों से पहचाना जाता है। देश की पहचान सीमाओं के आधार पर तय नहीं होती है। देश की ताकत उसके जन कैसे सामर्थ्यवान है उस पर होती है। और इसलिए कलाम साहब उन दोनों धाराओं को साथ लेकर के चलते थे कि एक तरफ इनोवेशन हो, रिसर्च हो, रक्षा के क्षेत्र में भारत अपने पैरों पर खड़ा हो, और थर्ड वर्ल्ड कंट्रीज, गरीब देशों को भी उपकारक हो, उस दिशा में भारत अपनी जगह बनाए। और दूसरी तरफ भारत का मानव समुदाय संपन्न हो। वे शिक्षा के बड़े आग्रही थे। वे हमेशा कहते थे, योग का महत्व समझाते थे, और उसके साथ वो कमिटमेंट भी था उनका। रिलीजन को स्पिरिचुअलिज्म में कन्वर्ट करना चाहिए, स्पिरिचुअलिज्म को प्राधान्य देना चाहिए, ये उनका कन्विक्शन था। यानी एक प्रकार से समाज जीवन में किन मूल्यों की आवश्यकता है, उन मूल्यों पर वो बल देते थे। शायद ये बड़ी हिम्मत का काम है, लेकिन वो करते थे। किसी भी समारोह में जाते थे और अगर वहाँ स्टूडेंट मिल गए तो फिर वो खिलते थे। उनको लगता है हाँ, एक ऐसे मैं बगीचे में आया हूँ जहाँ ये फूल खिलने वाले हैं। उनको तुरंत फील होता था, एकदम से उनका नेचर कनेक्ट होता था। और ऐसे समारंभ में वो बाद में संकल्प करवाते थे, एक एक वाक्य बच्चों से बुलवाते थे। ये कठिन इसलिए है आज के ज़माने में, क्योंकि इस प्रकार की बात करो तो दूसरे दिन पता नहीं कितने कितने विवादों में खड़े हो जाते हो। लेकिन वे कभी इन चिंताओं में नहीं रहे, हर बार उस संकल्प को दोहराते रहे। क्या हम जब भी कलाम साहब को याद करें, जहां भी कलाम साहब की चर्चा हो, उन संकल्प के संबंध में उसको लोगों में सार्वजनिक रूप से बार बार कैसे लाए? उनका संकल्प था, जो हमें बताया जाता था, उसको चरितार्थ करना, ये हमारा दायित्व बनता है। उस दायित्व को पूरा करने के लिए हमारी नई पीढ़ी को हम कैसे तैयार करें, उस संकल्प को बार बार दोहराते जाएं, ये परंपरा चलती रहे और चेतना जगाने का प्रयास निरंतर चलता रहे। उस दिशा में हम कैसे प्रयास करें? आज विश्व में भारत अपना एक विशेष स्थान बनाता जा रहा है। दुनिया किसी जमाने में भारत को एक बड़े मार्केट के रूप में देखती थी। आज विश्व भारत को एक सहयात्री के रूप में देखना शुरू किया है। भारत की तरफ देखने का दुनिया का नजरिया बदला है। लेकिन आर्थिक संपन्नता ही या सिर्फ मार्केट ही हमें ड्राइव करेगा क्या? आने वाले दिनों में हमारे पास इनोवेशन के लिए बहुत संभावनाएं हैं। 800 मिलियन 35 से नीचे जनसंख्या जहां हो, 65% जनसंख्या 35 से नीचे हो। आज आईटी के कारण दुनिया में हमने अपनी जगह बना दी, उसका कारण इनोवेशन था। हम इनोवेशन को बल कैसे दें? कलाम साहब की हर जन्म जयंती पर DRDO में एक ऐसा सेमिनार ऑर्गेनाइज कर सकते हैं क्या, 1 दिन 2 दिन 3 दिन जो भी हो, जिसमें यंग साइंटिस्ट हो, इनोवेशन करने वाले लोग हो, या जिनका साइंटिफिक टेम्पर का स्पार्क जिसके अंदर हो, ऐसे बच्चे हो। कभी स्कूल के बच्चों का 1 आध दिन कार्यक्रम, कभी इनोवेशन में लगे हुए 35 से नीचे यंग साइंटिस्ट, इनको बुला करके इन्हीं विषयों पर सेमिनार, हमेशा हमेशा कलाम साहब को याद करना मतलब इनोवेशन को प्रमोट करना, यह हम एक परंपरा बना सकते हैं क्या? तो उनके जन्म जयंती को मनाने में हम एक नई जिम्मेवारी की और भी समाज को लेते चले जाएंगे, और वह उनके लिए सबसे बड़ा संतोष का विषय बन सकता है, ऐसा मुझे लगता है। दुनिया में अब भारत ने उस दिशा में सोचने की आवश्यकता है कि हम विश्व को क्या दे सकते हैं, हम क्या बन सकते हैं, क्या हो सकते हैं, या कोई हमारे लिए क्या कर सकता है। उससे थोड़ा ऊपर जाके, थोड़ा हट करके हमारी वो ऐसी कौन सी विरासत है जो हम विश्व को दे सकते हैं और जो विश्व सहज रूप से स्वीकार करेगा और जो विश्व के कल्याण के लिए काम आएगा। हमने उन पहलुओं पर धीरे 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 अपने आप को तैयार करना चाहिए। आज पूरा विश्व साइबर क्राइम को लेकर के बड़ा परेशान है। क्या हमारे नौजवान वो इनोवेशन करें जिसमें साइबर सिक्योरिटी की गारंटी के लिए भारत की पहल हो, भारत एक ऐसी जगह हो जहां साइबर सिक्योरिटी के लिए पूरी संभावनाएं हैं। जितनी सीमा सुरक्षा महत्व की बनी है, उतनी ही साइबर की सिक्योरिटी महत्व की बनी है, क्योंकि विश्व बदलता चला जा रहा है। उसमें हम किस प्रकार से कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकते हैं। हमारी खोज, हमारे विज्ञान, हमारे संसाधन कॉमन मैन की जिंदगी में बदलाव ला सकते हैं, क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ में कोई चेंज ला सकते हैं। भारत गरीब देश रहा है। हमारे ये सारे संसाधन, संशोधन, ये सब कुछ गरीब की क्वालिटी ऑफ लाइफ में बदलाव लाने के लिए हो सकता है। अब हमने 2022 तक हर गरीब को घर देने का सोचा है। अब उसमें हमें नई टेक्नोलॉजी, नए चीजें लानी पड़ेगी। वो कौन से मटेरियल से अच्छे मकान बन सकते हैं, वो नई खोज करनी पड़ेगी। वो कौन सी टेक्निक होगी कि जिसके कारण फास्टेस्ट मकान बना सकते हैं हम। वो कौन सी टेक्निक होगी जिससे हम लो कॉस्ट मकान बना सकते हैं। क्यों ना हो। कलाम साहब चाहते थे देश के किसान का कल्याण करना है, देश के गरीब का कल्याण है, तो हमारी नदियों को जोड़ना। ये नदियों को जोड़ना सिर्फ परंपरागत इंजीनियरिंग वर्क से होने वाला नहीं है। हमें इनोवेशन चाहिए, एक्सपर्टाइज चाहिए, स्पेस साइंस की मदद चाहिए। इन सारी बातों करके हम क्या लोगों की जिंदगी में बदलाव ला सकते हैं। ये हमारी रोजमर्रा की जिंदगी है जिसमें हमें बदलाव लाना है। आज भी दुनिया में प्रति हेक्टेयर जो क्रॉप है उसकी तुलना में हमारा बहुत कम है। आज दुनिया में कैटल, प्रति कैटल जितना मिल्क मिलता है उसकी तुलना में हमारा कम है। वो कौन से वैज्ञानिक तरीके हो, वो कौन सा वैज्ञानिक टेम्पर हो जो किसान के घर तक पहुंचे, पशुपालक के घर तक पहुंचे, ताकि उसकी जिंदगी में बदलाव आए। और इसलिए विज्ञान को हमने सामान्य मानवी की जिंदगी में बदलाव लाने के लिए उस एप्लीकेबल साइंस को कैसे लाया जाए, उस टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे हम इनोवेट करें। ये ठीक है, डीआरडीओ में जो लोग बैठे हैं उनका एक क्षेत्र अलग है, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी ये वो बिरादरी है जिसका इनोवेशन, विज्ञान, खोज ये उसके सहज प्रकृति के हिस्से हैं। हम धीरे धीरे इसको एक्सपांड करते हुए, अब्दुल कलाम जी को याद करते हुए हम देश को क्या दे सकते हैं, और यही ताकत दुनिया को देने की ताकत बन सकती है। अब कभी कभार हम जब पढ़ते हैं, सुनते हैं कि भाई हमारे यहाँ किसान अन्न पैदा करता है लेकिन काफी मात्रा में बर्बाद हो जाता है। क्या उपाय हो सकते हैं? हर प्रकार के उपाय हो सकते हैं। टेम्पररी भी क्यों न हो, उसको रखरखाव की व्यवस्थाएं क्या हो सकती है। ऐसी बहुत सी चीजें हैं जिसमें हमने हमारी पुरानी पद्धतियों में से प्रेरणा लेना, नए इनोवेशन करना और उसमें से नए इक्विपमेंट तैयार करना, व्यवस्थाएं खड़ी करना, जो विज्ञान के द्वारा समाज जीवन में परिवर्तन का एक कारण बन सकते हैं, सहारा बन सकते हैं। विश्व जिस प्रकार से बदल रहा है उसमें सामुद्रिक सुरक्षा एक बहुत बड़ा विषय बनता चला जा रहा है। ब्लू इकोनॉमी की तरफ दुनिया बढ़ रही है। अब जब ब्लू इकोनॉमी की तरफ बढ़ रही है तब समुद्रिक जीवन में उससे साथ जुड़े हुए व्यापार से संबंध है। सामुद्रिक खोज एक बहुत बड़ा क्षेत्र अधूरा पड़ा है। संपदाओं का अपरंपार भंडार सामुद्रिक संपत्ति में पड़ा हुआ है। लेकिन एट द सेम टाइम मानव जात के सामने चुनौती है ब्लू स्काई, एनवायरमेंट, क्लाइमेट। ये दुनिया के अंदर आज चिंता और चर्चा के विषय है। और इसलिए ये ब्लू इकोनॉमी जो सामुद्रिक शक्ति की चिंता भी करें और ब्लू स्काई बचा रहे उसकी भी चिंता करें, उस प्रकार की हमारी टेक्नोलॉजी का इनोवेशन कैसे हो, हमारा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग। जब हम कहते हैं कि जीरो डिफेक्ट जीरो इफेक्ट, हम ग्लोबली जाना चाहते हैं, हमारी इनोवेशन की इस स्थिति कैसे बने कि हमारे मैन्युफैक्चर में कोई डिफेक्ट भी ना हो और उसके कारण एनवायरनमेंट पर कोई इफेक्ट भी ना हो। जब हम इन चीजों को लेकर के चलते हैं, मैं समझता हूं कि हमारे युवा वैज्ञानिकों के सामने चुनौतियां हैं। और देश के युवा वैज्ञानिक अब्दुल कलाम साहब ने जो हमें रास्ता दिखाया, जो अब्दुल कलाम साहब की जीवन की स्वयं की यात्रा तो सामान्य गरीब परिवार से निकले, यहाँ तक पहुँचे, लेकिन वो जिस क्षेत्र में गए वहाँ भी वैसे ही हाल था। अभी हमने देखा एक फोटो, रॉकेट का एक पार्ट साइकिल पर ले जा रहे थे। यानी इंस्टीट्यूट भी उतनी गरीब थी, उस गरीबी वाले इंस्टीट्यूट से जुड़ करके इतनी बड़ी विशाल संस्थाओं का निर्माण कर दिया। सिर्फ पोताना अपना व्यक्तिगत जीवन गरीब झोपड़ी से लेकर के राष्ट्रपति भवन तक आया, ऐसा नहीं। जहां गए वहां जहां था उसको उत्तम और बड़ा बनाने का भरपूर सफल प्रयास किया। ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। और उस अर्थ में हम भी जहां हो वहां नई ऊंचाइयों को पार करने वाली अवस्था कैसे पैदा कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए हम और योगदान क्या दे सकते हैं। कलाम साहब का जीवन सदा सर्वदा हमें प्रेरणा देता रहेगा और हम सब अपने संकल्पों को पूरा करने के लिए जी जान से जुटेंगे। इसी एक अपेक्षा के साथ कलाम साहब को शत शत वंदन करता हूं और उनका जीवन सदा सर्वदा हमें प्रेरणा देता रहे, इसी एक आशा अपेक्षा के साथ आप सबको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, sir. May I request Honorable Raksha Mantri Shri Manohar Parrikar ji to present a memento to Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you, sir. May I request Dr. S. Christopher, Secretary DD R&D and DG DRDO, to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, esteemed guests present here, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on the occasion of 84th birth anniversary celebration of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, former President of India, great scientist, the father of India's missile program. Make in India mantra of our Honorable Prime Minister is in a way demonstrated by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's self-reliance in high-end technologies. Sir, I assure you that DRDO would leave no stone unturned to make this vision and dream of self-reliant India. The very presence of our Honorable Prime Minister of India on this occasion, in spite of his extremely busy schedule, is a reflection of his commitment towards the development of science and technology in our country. On behalf of DRDO, I would like to wholeheartedly express my deepest appreciation and profound gratitude to you, sir, for presiding over this function as a chief guest. We are deeply honored to have you here today. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Honorable Urban Development Minister, Shri Venkaiah Naidu ji, for gracing this occasion. I take this opportunity to thank Honorable Raksha Mantri, Shri Manohar Parrikar ji, for his unstinted support and guidance in organizing this momentous event. I am extremely grateful to Honorable Minister of Communication and Information Technology, Shri Ravi Shankar Prasad ji, for being with us and enabled the release of commemorative stamp on Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. My sincere thanks to Honorable Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Science, Dr. Harshvardhan ji, for sparing his valuable time to be a part of this celebrations today. I also would like to express my sincere thanks to Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Shri Y. Chaudhary ji, for his august presence. I am thankful to the esteemed family members of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam for accepting our invitation and making efforts to be with us today. My special thanks to the Chief of Air Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, Chief of Army Staff, the Secretaries of Government of India, and all other dignitaries and distinguished guests who have taken time off from their busy schedule at such a short notice and have made it possible to join us in these celebrations. My sincere thanks to all the media personnel, both print and electronic, for providing excellent coverage of this function. An event of this magnitude requires meticulous planning, execution, and an eye for details. I have fortunate enough to have backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated colleagues who know their job and remain focused on their task at hand, and I am thankful to them for the successful organization of the celebration today. I once again thank Shri Narendra Modi ji, our Honorable Prime Minister, for gracing this occasion, and all our guests who joined us in remembrance of great scientist, visionary, and a leader of our times, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Dhanyavad, Jai Hind.
As we celebrate his epic life and giant dreams on the occasion of his 84th birth anniversary, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam will inspire generations to come. The Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, the Minister of Defence, the Minister for Urban Development, and other dignitaries.
May I request you all to kindly remain inside the hall
the days.
till the announcement of departure
And on that
of Prime
note,
Minister is made.
on behalf of the entire team, it's goodbye from DRDO Bhavan.